In Aldous Huxley's great novel, Brave New World, only one man has escaped the medico-political standardization program, securing the masses optimum lifestyle and maximum health. He is called the Savage. At the end of the novel, the Savage opposes the controller of the Brave New World, Mustafa Mond. The controller praises current society with no passion, no suffering, no risk, no deviation from sweet nothingness. But I like inconveniences, says the Savage. We don't, said the controller. We prefer to do things comfortably. But I don't want comfort. I want God. I want poetry. I want real danger. I want freedom. I want goodness. I want sin. In fact, said Mustafa Mond, you are claiming the right to be unhappy. All right then, said the Savage. I'm claiming the right to grow old and ugly and impotent, the right to have syphilis and cancer, the right to have too little to eat, the right to live in constant apprehension of what may happen tomorrow, the right to be tortured by unspeakable pains of every kind. There was a long silence. I claim them all, said the Savage at last. Mustafa Mond shrugged his shoulders. You're welcome, he said. Colleagues, my assumption is that current public health in the rich world concerts with Mustafa Mond while we should be on the side of the Savage. Public health in the Brave New World commits 4 sins. Sin 1, current public health presupposes that biology is the battlefield of health, but so it is not. Public health contradicts medicine's theory of relativity, stating that health is an ever-changing product of biology and culture, plus politics raised to the power of time and place. Current public health in the rich world is double-blinded for cultural and political impacts on health. It focuses monomaniacally on factor B, biological, chemical and physical hazards to our health. Sin 2, public health work on the dark sides of life. They are obsessed by anomalies, failures, disabilities, risks. Public health conceal that health first and foremost is joie de vivre. The third sin claims that public health is stuck in a top-down communication model. We are the superior expert system. We know what is best for people. The public health tradition does not recognize health as a personal property. The last sin is an old one called nemietas by the Romans. In wealthy Rome, 2,000 years ago, they experienced that individuals living in excess demand more with no limits. They claim more money, more adventures, more safety, more health, no risk, no sickness, no death. People and cultures infected with this attitude become, according to Roman wisdom, distressed, dangerous, and sick. The affluent world is entering the trance of Nemeitas. The mentality of too muchness reveals itself through a postmodern metaphor, the zero vision, a modern mantra for public health. The zero vision will purify life and society, remove stains, defects, and risks. The zero vision springs from a firm conviction: if we invest sufficient billions, dollars, and brain cells, man can design life, format society, manage nature. So why should we accept risk, accident, pain, disease, aging, death? Then the question emerges: how does the zero vision influence people's quality of life? What are the pathologies, the side effects of the public health striving for perfection? Side effect 1, to generate fear. Because the zero vision results in an obsessive preoccupation with risk. We enter what Frank Fugelli calls the culture of fear. We join what Ulrich Beck calls the risk society. Life becomes surrounded by dangers that the zero missionaries will rescue us from. The public health education makes us sad. It transforms life into a medical combat zone where we suffer from chronic Weltschmerz. Slaves, let us not curse life, commands Arthur Rimbaud in his novel A Season in Hell. The modern public health project curses life. Side effect 2, to give rise to sickness, inflation. Because the zero vision demands not merely zero risk, it desires zero deviation from the ideal state of mind and body. Consequently, the zero vision expands the concept of disease. Before the zero vision, a wise furrow, a sorrow, shyness, a big rump, a falling penis were regarded as natural phenomenon belonging to the mixed state of being human. In the light of the zero vision, these occurrences become medical diagnoses, claiming restoration by hormones, drugs, and knives. The third side effect, the zero vision makes us strict. It seduces us to accept nothing but a silvery picture of man and life. We are developing antibodies against otherness. We become hypersensitive to different lifestyles and strange bodies. We become preoccupied by cleaning and correcting in the house of superhumans. This obsessive cleaning neurosis manifests itself particularly in the house of health. Here, stern epidemiologists and busybody public health professionals have designed the ideal man. With invasive education, scare tactics, prohibitions, penalties, and rewards, 500 million distinguished, enigmatic, unique individuals in Europe are committed into the straitjacket of health. Ricoeur, the French thinker, is right when he claims medicine is our new tribunal. The final evil act of the zero vision is to generate injustice. It divides and rules society on behalf of the political economical elite. It is not accidental who takes the power to define the golden standards of human life and health, and to point on what we will not endure and whom we will not tolerate. It is a well-educated, privileged elite who constructs the norms for lifestyle, body, health, virtues, social acceptance, and rejection. Thus, we may approach a medical sorting society where the ugly bodies are humiliated, those who lack willpower are subjected to blame and shame, and the unwholesome lifestyles are condemned. Now, colleagues, these are the alarming adverse effects of the present public health project. Therefore, we need a new deal for public health policy. The first mind walk must go from omnipotence to moderation. Medicine has a godlike ambition and transplants delusions of grandeur into people's minds. Public health should advocate sobriety in the striving for health. 2,000 years ago, Seneca, the Stoic, prescribed the cure for medical nemietas. He said, man must be reconciled with risk, failures, malfunction, and non-perfection. Instead of overselling no risk, no pain, honest health professionals must ask, how much trouble and hardship is good for your health? And answer, man and society gain health and safety by accepting certain risks, tolerating some violence, coexisting with a dose of terror, finding peace with some tons of sin. We must not be ravenously hungry for health, nor ravenously greedy for safety, because those two ravens of Nemietas will fly away with our peace and our joy of life. The next step must bring public health from lifestyle to living conditions. Today, public health is fancied non-political. Individual lifestyle is in focus. Politically determined living conditions are blurred. Priority to lifestyle is convenient for the power holders. Attention is shifted from social injustice to individual insufficiency, from political failures to personal defectiveness. The lifestyle explanatory model functions as a lightning conductor for political morbidity and mortality. In Europe today, the major threats against the people's health are unemployment, social inequity, poverty, racism, the efficiency fury, and the culture of perfection. Public health should formulate a red prescription against political, economical, and ethnic suppression, instead of writing signs of stigma into the individual. Social medicine and public health must choose side. Shall our solidarity primarily be with our fellow human beings, or shall we give our loyalty to political and economical power holders who may want to use the public health apparatus to keep people and lifestyles in order and to optimize the collective body as factor of production? The last tool in restoring public health, Alicia Yamin mentioned it in her concluding remarks. It is to develop a people-centered method. Clinical medicine is now vitalized and democratized by the so-called patient-centered method, giving validity to patients' personal illness experience and healing potential. Public health should learn from clinical medicine and develop a people-centered method, recognizing people's own values, perceptions, meanings, experiences, potentials for preventing disease and promoting health. Let the clinicians become wise from interacting with the individual patient. The public health professionals need to share understanding, values, defeats, victories with our patient, the people, or a group of people. 150 years ago, Rudolf Ludwig Karl Virchow, the founding father of social medicine, saw public health dwindle into what he called bureaucratic and academic formalism. His call to the colleagues in Bismarck's Prussia has not expired. Quote, "Medicine will never lose dignity by taking off the high shoes and walking with the people, because from the people it will gain new strength." The last word will be a warning against public health fundamentalism. We must take care not to force people into the postmodern prison of health perfection and body fetishism. Freedom of health should be our vision. Medical tolerance, our trademark. According to Nietzsche, only men who are knights of the dangerous chance do have good health. John Stuart Mill states that health of man depends on his freedom to do experiments in life. Therefore, public health should be on the side of the savage. Thank you.